Hi friends! Welcome to another anime Get Ready With Me. A lot of you liked the format. Even if you weren't watching anime, had no idea what I was talking about, you still enjoyed the chat and kept watching. I appreciate you. Today I'll be covering the last episode of Demon Slayer as well as Attack on Titan. I'll do a half and half gig. Perhaps I'll dedicate the complexion portion of this Get Ready With Me to Demon Slayer, and then when I get to the eyes, Attack on Titan, I'll put the timestamps down below if you want to hear Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, both, whatever. If you have not watched either, if you have not started Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan, please don't watch this video. If you have not seen last Sunday's episode for both, please don't watch this video. It will contain spoilers, okay? And I am featuring the beat palette by, I want to say Lena Beauty, but it could be Lena. So let me know down below, and I could always message Lena to ask. But thank you so much for sending this, and I thought it would be fun to use some older makeup. I'll put all the products I'll have in this video down below. And remember this, the Villains and ColourPop collaboration. I'm going to use the highlighters, which I still had in my drawer, so I thought, you know, why not? So with all that out the way, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. It would be helpful if I had the other makeup, excuse me. Demon Slayer, last episode's title was Defeating an Upper Rank Demon. Although I have read that is an inaccurate translation. It's supposed to, it's like after defeating an upper rank demon, because we see that the beginning of the episode where it left off, we see Tengen and Tanjiro go at Gyotaro after he's been poisoned with the wisteria-laced kunai that Hinotsuru just blasted at him. That was some cliffhanger, and everyone was at the edge of their seat wondering, is Tengen and Tanjiro will they finally get Gyutaro's head sliced off? We learn no, but more on that in a minute. We go to a new scene that is actually not in the manga, where Tengen and his wives are at the Uzui family grave. They have a little picnic in front of the tombstone. Is actually quite nice. And they go deeper into Tengen's relationship with his wives, definitely raising the stakes as Hinotsuru is risking her life, including herself in the battle by bringing in that kunai cannon. And Tengen had also said in the scene that he's going to hell, and Makio, Suma, and Hinotsuru kind of looked at him like, that was a little dark. You know, as ninja, before they took on the role of demon slaying, they were ninja, and usually when you are one, you kill other people. You are deemed an assassin, and you take jobs, and that's what you do. So I believe that was the majority of their work before they met Ubuyashiki and changed their life when they ran away from Tengen's clan. So Tengen feels, you know, he's going to hell because he's killed people, even though he's changed his life. Everyone who didn't read the manga was wondering, ooh, is this Death Flag? Because we have seen during the Mugen Train arc, when Rengoku's flashbacks appear, we're like, uh-oh, is this another one of those? People were speculating during the episode, like, why are we having this flashback? Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna die. Back to the battle. Unfortunately, Gyutaro's feet regenerated when Tengen has sliced it off. Although the wisteria might have delayed the regeneration, not by much, not with enough time for them to decapitate Gyutaro. The feet are back. Gyutaro, I believe, launches another attack. Tengen goes in with his, I believe, fourth form, constant resounding slashes, which again, beautifully animated, very much aligns with Tengen's fighting style, just vibrant, beautiful. It looks like fireworks, which is funny because that's what Akaza's fighting style looks like also, so there's a little resemblance there. After Tengen's attack, he sees that Gyutaro is no longer there, and then we see Gyutaro made his way up on the roof where Hinatsuru is, and everyone gasps and they're like, uh-oh, this is it, she's gonna die. Gyutaro's like, I'm gonna look after you, because you're the one with this poison. And of course, you hear the desperation in Tengen's voice when he yells her name, thinking that her life is in danger. And I think that's why we had that scene prior, again, to raise the stakes and to flesh out his relationship with her, because, you know, you see your wife with the upper six moon demon maybe not making it. So it's a little stressful, okay? Tanjiro is stressed because he's like, I cannot see someone else die. So he managed to combine both water breathing and the Hinokami Kagura sword breathing styles to help him give a boost to get on the roof, cut off Yutaro's arm to free Hinatsuru from his grasp. Well done, Tanjiro, but we see that even though he had to combine fighting styles, it still takes a toll on him because at this point he is spent, he is beyond injured. I mean, operating on adrenaline alone, I believe, at this point. Tengen makes his way up on the roof, saying to Tanjiro that he has his gratitude because he did save Hinatsuru. And then we see before the intermission cut comes in, Tengen goes for Gyutaro's head again. Come to find out that didn't actually make it. But before that, there was another lovely flashback between Tengen and his wives where Hinatsuru was like, listen, after we're done with this mission, can we like retire? She had said specifically that maybe we should withdraw from the front lines, also stating that we cannot take back the lives we took, right? We can't mend those mistakes. We cannot completely cover up the history that we have, but we can do better going forward, and I would love to live my life with all of you alive. So if we're able to make it or not, we should really think about just living like ordinary people. And again, is this a death flag? Like, who is it? Tengen that's gonna die or Hinatsuru's gonna die? Someone's gonna die because Maki and Suma are taking care of the civilians, making sure that everyone has evacuated because buildings are breaking. It's a dangerous area to be in at this point, so they're taking care of the civilians. Hinatsuru is on her way out of the battlefield finally because there's a lot going on. All right, Tengen and Tanjiro try to cut off Yutaro's head again, but Yutaro does the block with his blood sights, and when Tengen goes in for another blow and can't get their swords out because Yutaro's flesh from his sides fused with their swords, so they're stuck, okay? Yutaro does an exorcist moment where he turns his head all the way, bites the tip of Tengen's sword for another block. I mean, he's a problem. He's a problem. Tough guy to beat. So unfortunately, they did not make that attack happen. And Gyutaro launches one of his circular blood slashes attacks, flings Tengen off the roof. We see them go down on the ground. They're still fighting. And then we go over to what's happening with Inosuke and Zenitsu still warring off Daki's obi slashes. Hinatsuru finally leaves the scene. She's like, just win. Okay, I gotta get out of here. Inosuke before saw momentarily that Tengen was about to cut off Gyutaro's head, and he was becoming stressed because he thought both heads needed to be sliced off at the same time. So he starts charging over at Daki because from here on out, Zenitsu and Inosuke were only able to block the sashes. They weren't able to get anywhere near her neck, so they could not close the distance. It's been taking them quite some time. Inosuke was getting frustrated because they were like, if we don't cut off her head at the same time Gyutaro's head gets cut off, then we ain't gonna win. And then Zenitsu, while sleeping, comes in with the commando voice and vibe. Inosuke, calm down. All we need to do is just make sure their heads don't reattach. We don't have to exactly cut them off at the same time. And there's like this boss level from Zenitsu taking charge, being strategic with his battle techniques and all. And Inosuke is like, what's gone into you? It's an amazing moment, especially if you have seen the entire series up until now and know how Zenitsu can be. Okay, it's funny how usually our inner voice can be doubtful, can be negative. You can't do it. You are trash. It's the flip for Zenitsu. His inner voice or subconscious is like, bro, you got this. Where he's awake is totally the opposite. So we are enjoying this new Zenitsu for sure. So finally, Inosuke realizes that we have to close the distance, and this is why Inosuke is my favorite. I love his theme. If you have not heard Samuel Kim's theme for the first Inosuke theme that he released, I think maybe sometime last year, and he just dropped a new mix today, I will post them down below. Listen, when you hear Inosuke's theme, no matter what you're doing, it's gonna be epic. Folding laundry, epic. Washing the dishes, epic. And when I read the manga, I could not wait for this scene to be animated because we finally see our three best boys work together in taking down Daki in such an amazing and this gave me chills. When I knew when Inosuke's theme was going to come on, they're going to weave in a little bit of Zenitsu's theme, a little bit of Tanjiro's theme, okay? When everyone was working together and they were putting down the plan and Tanjiro was like, we're going to protect Inosuke while he just goes in for the Daki blitz, okay? We're going to make sure his flanks are defended. So they're defending him while he's running down straight to the center. He does his beast breathing 8th form, explosive rush, and his theme is coming on. And you see Tanjiro and Zenitsu just making sure he has the space to just drive through and the music is playing. I was on the verge of tears. You're like, Alicia, what is... I was almost crying because when you get so emotionally invested in these characters and you start where they did in terms of how their relationship grew with one another, how their training improved. I mean, there was a moment before this started where Inosuke was like, what was all this training for? Like, all our sacrifice, all our hard work needs to amount to something. We have to make this happen or else it is all for nothing. And the way they just combined forces, relied on each other, trusted each other to make this happen was so emotional for me, and I'm sure for others. Okay? It was just too much. I was embracing myself. I was like, this is finally happening. And they took a panel right out of the manga and kind of slow-paced freeze frame it. It was really cool. In addition to just the gorgeous animation interwoven there, it was one of the best scenes ever. Again, knowing and starting with where these characters did and seeing Tanjiro grow from... I just saw the first part of the first episode of season 1. It hits different. I just absolutely love the character development. You know, I don't care if Demon Slayer is considered mid, as many people think it is. It's just an amazing story with great characters. Move into Attack on Titan momentarily in terms of how I think it's different. Well, although I do think it's a better story, it's more complex, just a lot going on. I need stories and characters like the ones from Demon Slayer to balance my emotional scales, okay? So we're going in with the Daki Blitz. Inosuke finally makes it to her neck, okay? Takes his blades and goes in with his beast breathing 6 fang palisade bite, where he just chainsaws her neck off. It is amazing, and it must be really painful for Daki. Gets her head off her neck, starts running with it like he just caught a football and making it to the end zone, okay? And then we soon see, because remember, Gyutaro's eye is on Daki's forehead. So Gyutaro is being a fighter, and he's also being surveillance at the same time. He sees all this happening, and we probably, as an audience, forget. Because I know I got really excited when I saw the trifecta go at it, that Gyutaro also knows what's going on, okay? And then we see that blood scythe coming through the air and stabbing Inosuke through the back. Even for me, even though I knew that was coming, it was tough to watch. Everyone is floored because, again, since the title was, I think, incorrectly translated, not to say we're actually defeating an upper rank demon. I think it was more after we do, if we do, what it takes in order to do so. So Inosuke falls on the roof, and then everything starts to unravel, and you see Tengen on the floor with the poison taking over the majority of his shoulder, and his hand is sliced off. And he is just like mangled on the floor. He looks done. Then all of a sudden we see Zenitsu running, and shouting Tanjiro's name. It's like, move! And he pushes Tanjiro off the roof. And then we see the Obi slashes through the building like what we saw a few episodes back when she took down the entire block. And just Tanjiro falling slowly and saying sorry, because that's how Tanjiro is. He always takes the blame for everything. He's never strong enough, never good enough. It's always his fault. And there's a beautiful dialogue that's coming up, I believe, in the next episode. This happened in the manga, and I do think it important to include, where we get more insight as to why he feels like that. And that's where the episode ends. Inosuke is assumed dead because, I mean, that blade went through his chest, looked like it went through his heart. Not good. Even if it missed his heart, the sights are poisoned. That's a problem. How can he withstand that? I don't know. He's not a ninja. Can he lessen the effects of poison or slow it down like Tengen can? But even if he can, for how long? Because now Tengen is on the ground looking dead. Things don't look great. And yeah, we're just left now with 2 more episodes. It has been confirmed the final one will be 45 minutes long, which I knew had to happen because there's quite a lot to cover, okay, in the Entertainment District arc before we move on to the next one. So it is now Tuesday. I've been just... I know what's going to happen, but I cannot wait to see it animated. I just count the hours. It's kind of insane. I don't know what I'll do with myself after the Entertainment District arc is done. Well, I think there'll be more Attack on Titan, which we'll be moving into shortly, talking about what happened in that episode. I actually forgot to check to see how many more episodes or chapters, well, rather, how many more episodes we have left in this second half of season 4. Attack on Titan, where do I begin? Completely different from Demon Slayer. I wouldn't compare them. Excuse me. They're different genres. They're different artistic intention. I mean, yes, Attack on Titan is a far more sophisticated story. It deals with, I think, darker themes. It pushes the boundaries a lot more than Demon Slayer, and I can understand how someone would rather see or dedicate their time to Attack on Titan. But this is how I feel, okay? I cannot have or watch anime like Attack on Titan all the time. It is emotionally draining, okay? I love the story. I love the perspective and how Isayama, the author, the mangaka for Attack on Titan, he had said in an interview where he was really into sci-fi and thought it interesting that making a story not necessarily about aliens invading the human race, but humans invading humans, and just that concept and how you can push the envelope in humans against humans, right? That's what we see every day in terms of war, discrimination, classism. And he took it to the next level where he made these other humans, these monsters, look just like that, monsters. But then we understand that these titans, these grotesque looking giants, that, my goodness, the design on these titans, they are just, it is like creepy. It's creepy, it's gross. I think that's the exact feeling Isayama wanted to deliver with these Titan designs. That's immediately what I thought of when I saw them for the first time on the anime, and also drawn in the manga. It's incredible, actually. It's an amazing artistic feat. Probably not for everyone, but I think it's quite interesting and really, again, different from the norm, and makes you feel a certain way because they do look like humans, just grossly exaggerated and scarier because they're bigger, they're like giants, just stomping all over, and they eat other humans for food and to survive, so it's a problem. The last episode covered how Zeke and Eren are in the Pats. It's this other dimension where I believe Eldian descendants converge, where they die, or those of royal blood go. Time moves a lot slower there than it does in real life. So years in the paths is where this dimension is called, could be seconds in the real life. Something like that, more or less. So we go through Aaron's father's, Grisha's memories, because Zeke is looking to convince Aaron that he was brainwashed and why he should follow Zeke's euthanization plan. But we soon learn that, I'm sorry, I have to do this, all you WandaVision fans, it was Aaron all along. We soon learn that Aaron was pulling the strings the entire time. Each Titan has a unique capability, and the Attack Titan's unique trait is that they can see the future, or they can peer into the memories of future Attack Titan inheritors. So Aaron was able to see Grisha's memories, but Grisha was able to see Aaron's memories, and Aaron was seeing Grisha seeing Aaron's memories. I think that's what happened. Correct me down below. Something also with Attack on Titan is that it could be a little confusing. So thank goodness for channels like Anime Balls D, Plot Armor, Anime Uproar for really breaking it down for me, for my dumb brain. It's a lot to unpack and understand, and I think that's why people love it, because Attack on Titan, I think, beautifully merges science fiction and real life problems like war, again, discrimination, and they put it in this science fiction setting that definitely adds another element to it. But at the end of the day, it's all about the human condition and how we are pushed to do the most atrocious things, right? So we learn that what we have seen throughout the entire Attack Titan story up until now was all Aaron's doing. How he influenced his father to eat the founding Titan wielder because he wasn't about to. And let me tell you, Aaron's face is terrifying. And this was a great point made by Fornever World, that face of disgust wasn't the fact that Grisha was about to eat kids, okay? It was the fact that Grisha wasn't going to go forward with it. And Aaron hated that. He was like, what are you doing? Don't you remember what happened to your sister? You better go forward with this mission. You better eat them. It was chilling. It definitely inspired me, not that moment, but everything that's happening, to start Attack on Titan again, because knowing what you know now and seeing Aaron 9 years old, like, it just puts a lot more context to it. That Aaron was always like this. He was not brainwashed, okay? Sure, maybe he brainwashed himself when he was telling Aaron as he was growing up, you know, I want all these events to fall into place the way I want, so please do this and this and this. But that was all him, and it's crazy how when we learn the reason why Aaron wanted to do what he wanted to do, I don't know if it justifies what's gonna happen. I struggle with Aaron's goal, his philosophy. I know it has to do with freedom, right? That you were born into this world and you need to do what you gotta do. I don't know if it's worth all that pain and suffering for something, and this is for the manga readers, but for something that I think will be temporary. And we shall soon find out. It's interesting. People who read the manga were not particularly loving the ending. That is the one thing that's keeping them from saying that Attack on Titan is the greatest anime of all time. People are loving it now. They're like, oh my gosh, Attack on Titan is the best thing. Demon Slayer, who, I don't know how they're gonna feel if they when they see that ending. I don't know if they're going to have an anime only ending, right? We are wondering the same thing. Are they going to keep the manga ending? Are they going to have an anime only ending? People speculate we might have a different ending because Gotoge, Demon Slayer's author, I don't know if it was after 6 months or a year, but she actually changed the ending. It happens when your publisher is like, you gotta wrap it up. Creatively, you might not present the best outcome, right? But Gotoge decided to do another ending, and it was definitely more wholesome. It provided closure for us, so that was great to see. Now, people are wondering, hoping the same thing will happen to Attack on Titan. I don't know if a different ending will make it better. It's one of those things where the circumstances that we are presented now are pretty bad. People really wanted to see Eren and Mikasa together. You know, I don't think this was ever a love story. I think their relationship was maybe a benefit. And there was a moment where Eren was going through Grisha's memories, and one of the most poignant ones when he killed the people that they're about to like kill or rape her. I forgot exactly what was happening at the time. But this 9-year-old boy straight up killed 2 men. And he gave Mikasa that red scarf, which he had kept up until a certain point when he went totally like, I hate you. That was really hard to see. I really feel bad about that. When going through that memory, he stopped and saw her and saw the exchange between his little self and Mikasa. So I do think maybe Eren was not prepared he probably was not prepared for the impact Mikasa would have on him, on his heart, okay? I think people wanted to see them together, but unfortunately, I think Eren's unrelenting drive to see his plan through will just not allow for a love story to happen on Attack on Titan, okay? People were shocked. They were like, oh my goodness, what is happening? I don't think they were ready to see that everything that has unfolded thus far has been Eren's doing. Because, again, of the Attack on Titan capabilities, their unique trait. A lot still needs to be covered content-wise. There are a lot of more chapters yet to be covered in the manga that need to be on Z Anime. But after completing Attack on Titan, I needed something like Demon Slayer because it's so heavy. It's a lot to process, a lot to ponder. I found myself doing when finishing the manga for Attack on Titan. I didn't know what else to think. I didn't know how to process the ending. It was tough, you know what I mean? And again, learning what happens in the end, of course I won't say anything, but again, because I already feel this is a lot of spoiler talk, if you want to flourish on your thoughts on the ending down below, listen, if you haven't read the manga, be careful with the comments. If you want to put a spoiler in the comment, just say spoiler alert and the reader will bypass it. I don't know if there would have been another ending. Like, what else Isayama could have done? I don't know what else he could have done. It just seems that Eren's plan to take out and a lot of people's lives for the sake of saving his country is monumental and kind of nuts. And he was not going to let down. He was not going to change his mind. That's why he used Zeke to get to where he was, because he would not have been able to accomplish his plan without Zeke's help, without being in the paths and encountering Ymir, the original founding Titan. And I believe that's what we'll see in the next episode. We'll see Ymir's past, and understanding her past will give us better context to why Eren feels like he does, what gives him that drive and purpose to set her free. It's gonna be nuts, especially What, you know, I don't think we'll see it in the next episode because peering into Ymir's past is actually quite long. It's a long chapter. And much like how I predicted we'll only be able to see Grisha's memories in the last episode, that's where we stopped. Kudos to Grisha's voice actor. My goodness, that exchange between him and Zeke was just so emotionally distraught. You can hear and feel the pain in his voice, regretting how he lived his life as Zeke's father, saying how he could have done better. And Zeke's just sad. Like, he wanted the same thing too. As a son, he wanted that father and son relationship, and you can see or feel a little bit of a jealousy in Zeke when witnessing the interactions between Eren and Grisha when Eren was smaller. Like, I think Zeke just wanted what Eren had as a child, and when he learned that Grisha did not brainwash Eren to be how he was, the reason why he deceived Zeke was just all him and had nothing to do with Grisha. In fact, when Zeke learned that it was Eren that influenced Grisha to do what he did, he was just floored. Could not believe what Eren had done. And unfortunately, his plans have just been dissolved, right? Unfortunately, there will not be any euthanization, Zeke. I'm sorry. We will just have a lot of human stomping instead. So get out the way. Again, next Sunday, I think we'll see Ymir's history, which is quite bleak and sad, I should say. Really tough to witness, and we will get a better idea of the Titans' history, how they came to be, because when you see the first episode, there is no historical context. You just see these overgrown human giants just eating people, and you assume they just kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, oh no, they're here, run away. But there's a lot more to it than that. And when learning where they come from and why they were there, I think we'll get a better perspective on that next Sunday. And the following Sunday, I do believe we will see Eren's transformation, because when Eren's head got blown off, and if you didn't read the manga, didn't see that coming, it was something else. It seemed or implied that he was going to die, but when Zeke reached out his hand and caught Eren's head, before Eren completely lost consciousness, that's when they met at the paths where Ymir is, and when they went through the Grisha's memories and all that stuff, had their little conversation. All this is happening at a totally different speed length, right? Because in real life, it's just happening in front of everyone's eyes at like in seconds. Is Ymir going to give Eren the power of the founding Titan? Well, there was a moment she just bypassed Eren and went straight to Zeke, and Zeke was like, she only listens to those with royal blood because she's a slave. And we'll learn that she was a slave to the king and never had her own free will. She was always one to obey somebody else. And I think the exchange, or it's not actually an exchange, but what Eren says to her in the next episode, I think it quite powerful and moving. And of course, we will learn and get more perspective on Ymir's past. And finally, maybe we'll see Eren's, if he does get the founding Titan, possibly we will see a transformation, which I cannot wait to see animated. It's crazy in the manga. Again, Isayama's illustrations are just so, they hit different. They're so weird and just so grotesque, but I think deliver that unease to the reader and now to the manga viewer for sure. Gonna only be a matter of time before we see what happens. All I have to say is when Attack on Titan comes to an end, when we discover what ending actually gets used, I'm gonna have to watch something frilly and prissy because it's just a lot. It's a lot. So, of course, I would love to know your thoughts down below if you read Attack on Titan, if you already know the ending, if you're anime only, what you expect. What do you think about Eren and just learning how he does not listen? He's gonna make sure his plan is completed. Are we rooting for him in the same way like how he did when he became a survey scout and throughout his whole journey? You know, I was rooting for him, Mikasa and Armin. I love those three. It just became complicated. And even Mikasa and Armin were like, you know what? I think he was always like this. We just didn't want to notice. And that's tough. That really speaks to, I think, relationships in our own life that we've had with others, questioning the dynamics and asking ourselves, did we notice these traits before and dismiss them entirely and forgave this person and just kind of was like, that's just them. This is a whole other thing for sure. I do think Eren loves his friends. I do. I think we will learn that the reason Eren told Mikasa that he hates her is because he knows she loves him. And if Mikasa has to do something that no one else is willing to do, it would be hard if you have feelings for this person. You can't go forward with the task because you are being held back by your own emotions and how you feel. I think also Eren said that to, again, put Mikasa in a mindset. She cannot protect him all the time, and he will then find himself in a situation where he can't be protected. And she just has to let that go, which is very sad. Sad indeed. This is, again, not meant to be a love story. It's a very realistic take on humans and how complex we are and how we change, and we constantly have to shift and just go with the different flow. I think that's why people adore Attack on Titan. It's, even though it might look, it's just an animation, it holds so much more weight, has so much commentary on the human race and what we go through, and the historic implications also found in the writing with war, again, discrimination, and all the racism and classism that goes on. I think people connect with that, and to see it in a setting such as this, that's exaggerated as it is, probably helps people better understand what they're going through, perhaps. So it's only a matter of time before we find out what happens. I've only been watching reaction videos ever since Sunday. That's how I help pass the time, because it just feels impossible to wait a week. But I'm also savoring the waiting because we only have 2 more episodes of Demon Slayer. Who knows how long we'll have to wait for season 3. There definitely gonna be a season 3, okay? Ufotable is making too much money, alright? I also heard from Fornever World that Toonami cannot afford to broadcast Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer has become a Lux anime ever since Mugen Train and how much money that movie made. Only the big boys like Netflix and Hulu can show Demon Slayer. Crunchyroll, Funimation, and all that. Poor Toonami. I remember when I was watching Toonami when I was smaller, that definitely introduced anime to the Western world that was needed. I knew about anime because of Toonami on Cartoon Network and just loved Saturday nights. Oh my gosh. Saturday nights back in the day were so exciting. Now, not so much. And to be an adult and enjoy anime as much as I am now, this is a great time to enjoy anime. It's become a lot more mainstream, and to have stories like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Tokyo Revengers that I just started, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, okay? All those are great to see now, and to enjoy them in a social media setting as well, I think even better, because before, when I was smaller, I couldn't really find the enthusiasm that I'm surrounded with now, right? It was either, you know, when I was in middle school, the only people I had to talk to about anime were the boys, and they really want to talk to me because I was a girl. Like, what did I know about anime? Meh. Now I have so many friends. I have you guys to talk about it with. We have the anime merch. You know, I'm making money. If I wanted to buy Nosuke sweatpants, I can. Reading opinions about it on social media, which, funny, I never engage in anime conversations because you can either be right or be free. So I read the comments, and witnessing how people get so emotional about these things and super crazy is actually a little funny, but at the same time, it definitely adds more to the dialogue and is interesting to read and learn about other people's opinions when it comes to the shows and mangas that I watch and read respectively. So let's zoom it out and take a look at how this turned out. Not bad at all. I was very much inspired by Inosuke because, well, the Demon Slayer uniform, it looks black, but on Inosuke, it looks navy. I don't know why. So I went for this navy eye, of course, again, using the B palette. So I definitely had to use the navy and grayish types of colors from the B palette to, recreate this Inosuke vibe. Thank you for joining me, fam. You just wanted to hang out and apply makeup while I was applying makeup. Well, I appreciate you. I'll see you back here after Sunday when we see the next episodes of Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. Much to discuss, I'm sure. I'll see you down in the comments. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was entertaining. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review, tutorial, anime get ready with me, or monthly faves. Take care, and I will see you again soon.